Hi guys, it's Yianni from Yiannimize, and this is my 3-car garage. Now if you're a regular on this channel, you will know that I buy and sell cars a lot. However, I'm not a car dealer. You usually get to see a video of me picking up the car. Sometimes I don't even get a chance to wrap it. And then you see another video of me selling the vehicle. I always get asked, do you lose money? How do you buy these cars? Are they financed? Are they leased? Are they rented? Do you purchase them outright? You change your cars more than I change my socks. I think you need to change your socks a little bit more, mate. Today, I'm gonna answer all those questions. But first, let me show you my 3 cars. So first up, we have my Lamborghini Aventador SV Roadster. This is one of 500. I purchased this car maybe a year and a half ago from a friend of mine called Sammy Dehan, but this car is originally a HROing Lambo car. Secondly, you have my Lamborghini Urus that I purchased a few weeks back, again from Lamborghini HROing. Thirdly, you have my Porsche Taycan Turbo S that I purchased directly from Porsche, and AMT helped me to get this vehicle. Combined, I would say the value's around £750,000, give or take. We're gonna go upstairs and we're gonna break this down, and I'm gonna show you how I bought each one. Come with me. As I'm about to go upstairs, I've just realized I do actually have one other vehicle, and it is my X4M competition that I got from BMW Park Lane. So I actually do have 4 cars. You probably never see me driving that car. Why? Again, I'll explain it upstairs. There's a few ways you can get a car. You can rent it. However, if you rent it, usually it's short term, it's very, very expensive monthly, and you don't actually own the car. You can lease a car, which means you pay a deposit, you pay a monthly over a period of time, and at the end of the term, you can give the car back. Finance a car. So you purchase the vehicle, you put a deposit down, you pay the monthly, and at the end of the term, you have a balloon, which is your final payment, and then you own the car. Or you can buy the car outright. So whatever the cost of the car is at the start, you pay the full amount, and that car is yours from the get-go. So let's look at these in more detail. Renting a car. I personally never rent a car. 1, because I don't really need to. 2, my friends all own rental companies, so if I ever am short of a car, they'll usually let me borrow it. Why would someone rent a car? Wedding, want to show off on the weekend, maybe they can't get finance, so they think, you know what's the best way to profile, to drive a nice car? You can put a deposit down, which is obviously, if anything goes wrong, if you crash the car, they will take that deposit. So it could be £5,000, £10,000, even £20,000, depending on how expensive the vehicle is. And then you pay for a weekend, a week, a month. But that is really, really expensive. And obviously it is short term, short fix. But usually you would rent a car if it's a special occasion, or if you can't actually stack up to get finance and your credit is not the best. Leasing a car. People love to lease cars. I've leased cars in the past. Why? You pretty much always get a brand new car. So you know you can lease the car for 1 year, 2 year, or even 3 years. Usually people lease a car for 2 or 3 years. You know exactly what the deposit is. You know exactly how much you're paying per month over a year, 2 years, or 3 years. So you know what that car will cost you. So for example, if you're paying £500 a month over 12 months, that's going to cost you £6,000. And let's say you put a £4,000 deposit down, total is £10,000. So you know that car over the year is going to cost you exactly £10,000, taking out petrol and insurance, etc. Now, at the end of the term, you can just give the car back. So you know that car's cost me £10,000. People say if you lease a car, you don't actually own it. It's a grey area. If you have a mortgage on a house, do you own it? Does the bank own it? Who owns the car? Does the dealer own it? Does the finance company own it? If you're paying a deposit and you're paying a monthly, over that period of time, to me, you pretty much own it. Granted, you give the car back at the end, but I think it's a clever way to purchase a vehicle, especially a new vehicle, without laying a big chunk of money out, especially if you like to change your cars regular, like I do. When you finance a car, this is where people say you actually own the car. However, you will still owe money to the bank. So with financing, usually you put a bigger deposit down, then you have a period of time where you pay your monthly payments, which could be 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, even 5 years. And at the end of that period, you will have a balloon payment, and that will be your final payment that you pay to clear off the car, and then that will mean you own the car 100%. Finally, you can buy a car outright. That's really easy. assuming you've got the money. If you want to spend £50,000, £100,000, £300,000 on a car, you need to have that money in your bank. And literally you just transfer the money over and you buy the car. And then when you go to sell it, doesn't matter what it's worth, you're losing the money yourself. Or it could be going up in value if it's a car that is limited, or you know that it's a car that people want and it's a sought after vehicle. Let me tell you how I've got my cars. So I did mention briefly about the BMW X4M. That car is a lease deal. I've got that from BMW Park Lane. It's a 12-month deal, cheap as chips. That car is worth around £80,000 depending on how you spec the vehicle. £2,000 deposit, about £600 a month. Over the 12 months, what's that? £7,200 plus £2,000 deposit, £9,200 over the year. The reason they do a great deal is because if you're an influencer and you have, I think, over 100,000 followers, they will do a deal on a car to get it really cheap. That is why you see a lot of YouTubers and social media influencers driving BMWs. It's great. You put a small deposit down, the monthly is not extortionate, and at the end of the 12 months, you give the car back. So that is why I've got that car. It was a great deal. It was too good to turn down. I drive it every now and then. I might let one of my staff drive it. My cousin can drive it. But that is why I've got the BMW X4M competition. It will be gone within the year. So that car is a lease. Lamborghini Urus is financed by AMT, who I always promote on social media. They look after me. You put a deposit down and then you pay the monthly. That car was £208,000 new. I spent around £50,000 on it, which is the Nero kit, the wheels, PPF wrap. So that car owed around £260,000. So that car is a finance car. So as I said, deposit monthly over 3 years. At the end of that 3 years, I will have a balloon payment to clear that car and then I will own it. However, I never keep my cars that long. So what will happen is I'll end up selling it in 6 months, in 12 months time. And what happens is, if I sell the car, the balance will pay off the finance and whatever extra is left will go in my pocket, which covers my deposit that I put on the car. My Porsche Taycan Turbo S, that is another finance deal, again through AMT. Purchased the car from Porsche, I gave AMT my deposit and I pay them my monthly until the car comes to an end. So that car was, I think, 160 something thousand pounds. It was brand new, deposit, monthly, balloon payment at the end, which is obviously the balance. But again, it won't get to the end of the term. So I'll get the money in from the new owner, he will pay off my finance, and any balance will go back in my pocket, which is my deposit. The advantage in the relationship I have with AMT, I've been taking cars off them since 2003, that they won't penalise me if I come out of my term early because of the relationship I've built with them. The chances are my Porsche Taycan is not going to be around a long time. We know what I'm like, I do move my cars. But when you spend money with companies and you give them exposure and you look after them, you get the love both ways. My Lamborghini Aventador SV Roadster, that's one of 500. When I purchased that car, I think it was worth around £360,000. I purchased it for less than £330,000. At the time, it was a fantastic deal. And the reason I bought that car, because it was going up in value. It was a great price. That car has depreciated. That car's probably worth £290,000, £300,000 if I'm lucky, to the right person that wants that specific car with that color. So I've lost money. How did I buy that? I bought it outright. So I transferred the full amount of money and I bought it outright to Sammy Dahan. In my head, this car was going up in value. And at the time, I didn't need that money. I wasn't working on anything. So I didn't think, oh, am I gonna put 300,000 into that? Am I gonna do something else? I didn't need the money, so I bought it outright. That car's not financed, it's not leased, it's not rented. You see the number plate on the screen. So many people, it makes me laugh, HPI my cars. HPI is where you can find if the car's got finance. It's incredible how many people are bored at home to just HPI one of my cars. They did that back in 2013 when I had my other Lambo. Does it matter whether the car's financed, leased, rented? It's a guy on the internet. Who cares what that guy's doing? Whether that guy's fronting for the gram or if actually is the real deal and he's got money. It doesn't affect you. That person doesn't pay your bills. So try not to worry about what other people are doing and worry about yourself. But as I said, that car's bought outright. What have I done to that car? Literally, it was tinted and it's got clear PPF over the whole car. Because it is a 1 of 500 vehicle, I didn't want to put a wrap on it. I didn't want to do anything to it. The whole idea was not really to drive it too much. You'll see that I run it on trade plates. So if it ever comes out, I move it around on trade plates because the car is actually sawned because I don't use the car. I've got my other cars and that car was an investment vehicle. At the moment, it's taking a loss. That is one car. I'm actually losing money at the moment. However, I believe it will come back and the prices will go up. Let's go back. In 2003, I had a Porsche 996 Turbo S. Again, I bought that off AMT. That was the first car I ever bought off AMT, and that was Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank's car. I don't know if you know who Jimmy Floyd is, top football player. And that car, I probably lost money. That was a long, long time ago. 2003, again, I bought a Ferrari 360 Spider. I bought that car outright as well. I was in property back then and a little bit silly and buying cars for cash, which I shouldn't do. Not cash as in cash money, as in transfer, but no finance. And I put wheels in it and put interior. I must have lost about 25 grand on that car. Then in 2006, I bought my Gallardo. And I'm only giving you the big cars. Forget the Range Rovers and the Renault 19s and the everyday cars. These are my big cars back then. 2006, bought a Lamborghini Gallardo Spider from HRO in London. That was my first car I purchased from them. White, balloon white outside, white and black interior. Insane. And back then, no one had a white car in 2006. That car was financed. Again, AMT financed it for me, put a deposit down, paid my monthly, and I actually got out of the car, pretty much broke even, because a friend of mine really wanted that car. And because it was white, and because it was my car, he took it off me. Then if you fast forward to now, what have I bought recently that you've seen me buy and sell? My first Lamborghini Urus, I had that a year. I put the kit on it, put about 12,000 miles, and I still made around £10,000. Then you've got my G-Wagon. That was a G63 AMG. I got that on a Mercedes-Benz VIP deal. Again, if you've got social media presence, if you're famous, if you're out there to the masses and people look at what you buy, that is why you get deals on these cars. Bought it via AMT from Mercedes-Benz direct. I put the full urban kit on it. Of course, urban is like my family, so I get looked after. Someone really wanted that car. They didn't want to sell it. They offered me more than what I paid for it. It was a no-brainer to sell, so I sold that car. So a G63 AMG is usually around 130, 140, even 150, depending on how you spec it. Then when you put the full urban kit with the wheels, the wide arch, that can be again 30 or 40,000. So that car comes in around 180, 190. If you look online, Urban sell their brand new cars for over £200,000. Someone wanted a car now. And that is why I always manage to sell my cars quick. They will look online, they'll try and find a car that has got the kit, has got the wheels, that's a great color. 9 times out of 10, they're not ready to go now. You might have to put an order in and wait 3 months, wait 6 months. If someone's got the money and someone wants a car today, what do? What car's Yianni got? He's got the G-Wagon. He's got the full kit on it. It's got the big arches, fully spec'd up. And it's pretty much brand new. And he knows it's looked after. He knows it's come from a main dealer. They usually message me. They send me a DM. They contact me. Will you sell your car? I get a lot of time wasters. And I'm like, do they really want to buy my car? This person really wanted to buy my car. He bought it blind, sent a 10 grand deposit over the phone, and then come saw the car and then paid the balance. That is why I sold that car. So I made money on that vehicle as well. My Urus and my Taycan are obviously sitting around now. My Taycan will be sold, I'm sure. Urus is not going anywhere. I'm not selling my Urus. My SV, if someone came to me for the right money, I would sell that, but we know it's taking a loss at the moment, so I'd rather keep it. I don't need the money. The X4M is going to go back at the end of the year, so that's that car. I ain't got any more cars. Besides from the smart cars and the Fiat 500s and the vans, my wife's got a supercharged Range Rover that I'm trying to get her out of because it's quite old now, but she loves it. She won't let me take her out. I was like, let me put you in SV up. No, I like my car, Her car's 2013. Yes, it's got the full urban kit and it looks amazing. She will not let me sell that car. I said, let me put you in a new car. No, I don't want it. That's what she wants. She loves it. I'm talking big cars, and I'm a grown-ass man, and I've been working a long time, and I'm a car man. But the majority of people will buy a 10 grand car, 20 grand car, 30 grand car. A lot of people don't have £30,000 to put into a car, but they have £2,000 to put in a deposit, and they have £300 a month. So for £2,000 deposit and £300 a month, you're going to have a brand new car. It's a no-brainer. That is why you would lease a vehicle. That's what I always recommend. So if it's the lower end, definitely lease a vehicle. You're saving money. You're not going to get hurt at the end of the term. And as I said, you can just give the car back at the end. Granted, if you've curbed the wheel, you've damaged the bumpers and stuff, yes, they're going to charge you to repair the car and put it back to as close as new as possible. But small deposit, low monthly, you don't have to worry about anything. Remember, that works on a lease deal. Do not do that on a finance deal, because you put a small deposit down, a small monthly, at the end of the term you need to buy the car, and that car would have depreciated. And then you've got a big balloon payment that you need to pay, but the car is not worth the money. Do the maths. Finance or lease? So each of these methods to buy a car is individual to you. It might suit you better to put a small deposit and pay small monthly. It might suit you better to put a bigger deposit and pay a small monthly. It's personal preference. It's what suits your financial situations. Don't get gassed by the big cars and the big outgoings and everyone telling you the cars will be worth a lot more money. Don't get confused. Stay in your lane. If you can afford to do it, do it. If you can't, don't. Don't try and impress people on social media. Trust me, it's not worth it. And if it goes wrong, they're not going to pay your bills. We go back to the question, why do I buy and sell my cars? I'm in the car industry. I own a wrap company. So I always want the latest car. I always want the latest wrap on my cars. I always want the awareness, the promotion, the exposure. It's what I do for a living. So even if I do lose on a car, 5, 10, 15, 20,000 pounds, the amount of exposure that vehicle's given me from Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, yeah, we're on Facebook as well, Twitter, it's incredible. It's more brand awareness for my company. And that is why I always say, brand everything. Everyone knows it's Yiannimize, everyone knows it's me, and everyone knows if it's a bright color, it's crazy, or it's a bit leery, and it's a mad car, 9 times out of 10, it's come out of this factory. People always say to me, do you buy the cars on the company, claim the VAT back? I personally don't. And people are like, you must be mad, why would you not do that, especially with an electric car? Personally, I don't like to put cars on the company. I don't really mess around with HMRC, whatever they want, I give them. Cars on a company is always a bit of a grey area. So I'd rather buy the cars in my personal name, plus the fact that I don't keep my cars long enough. So I don't really want to put them through the company, put in a claim the VAT, but then I sell the car and then it's just a whole palaver. When you do a lease deal, you can work it, because obviously if you're doing £500 plus VAT, it actually works well for the company and the company can pay for it. But personally for me, I don't do that. So that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. You lot have been asking for it for a long time, so there it is. If you want more content like this, let me know. If there's other subjects you want me to tackle or talk about, I'm more than happy to do it. I'm more than happy to be real with you guys at home. There's loads more videos to come, by the way, especially about my Taycan and a few other things that are coming on the way. But again, I always appreciate you guys. Give it a thumbs up if you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon, and I guess I'll see you soon. Take care.